Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 2 of our Fictional Kitchen series, and today we're going to start off with our very first course, which is called the garden. So let's get right into this, and I will show you how it's made.
If you remember last episode, you know this book. This book is what we're going to reference for the rest of this video. So we're going to break down each ingredient and how they pair together. The first ingredient is our micro arugula. It has green vegetable, fruity, and spicy aromas. Next, we have our cherry balsamic, which has fruity, citrus, floral, green, vegetable, roasted, nutty, woody, spicy, and cheesy aromas. For that, we have our leeks, which have a fruity, green, vegetable, and roasted aroma. Next, we have our micro sorrel, which has a fruity, floral, green, vegetable, caramel, roasted, woody, and cheesy flavor. Next, we have our kombu, or our seaweed, which has a fruity, citrus, green, herbal, vegetable, roasted, and spicy aroma. Apple, which has a fruity, floral, green, vegetable, and spicy aroma. Lastly, we have our cinnamon, which has a citrus, floral, green, herbal, caramel, nutty, woody, and spicy aroma. And this is our complete food web. You can tell what pairs with what based on what aromas they have, and all of these ingredients mesh together really well, which is how we know that our dish is going to work and taste good, because everything pairs well together. You can also do this with wine and any other recipe that you have that you need to cook something for, or come up with a new recipe for something. It is 100% foolproof and works every time.
Alright, so this is our very first test. Basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to use the seaweed that we have here, and we're going to try and make it into a tea, so that way we can put our tea and infuse it into our stock that we're going to be making. That is our very first step for this dish, is making a stock.
Alright, now that the kombu is in the water, it's dehydrating, so it's releasing all of its flavor, kind of like you would with the tea. And we're just gonna let it sit in there for as long as possible. It gets really slimy, that's why we're not adding it with the other stock. We're doing it separate and then adding this into the stock. So we're gonna let it sit until it boils, and then once it boils, we'll reduce it down to a simmer for about 20 minutes. And then once it's there, we're going to strain it out with our, you'll see, it's quite something what we're straining it out with.
Next, we're going to prep our apples, which are going to be going inside of this salad. We are going to peel them. For the next part, we're now going to infuse the apples with some balsamic, and cherries pair really well with apples.
Now we're just going to toss our apples in the cinnamon and the balsamic, and then we are going to stick it in the refrigerator for as long as possible, allowing them to marinate. If I was doing it differently, you could put this in a CO2 canister or with some nitrogen and get some more flavor out of it. But for now, we're just going to let them marinate in the refrigerator. That's it.
Alright, so I believe our tea is ready. We have made our own little filtration system. We've got a couple of coffee filters in here going through a strainer into a bowl. Hopefully this works. I have not tried this yet, so experiment number 1. Now, the reason we're doing this separately from the stock is the seaweed will get really slimy if you cook it for too long. So we're gonna stick this into a bag for now and just see what happens with it, and we'll probably use it later for something. But this is what we wanted. This is liquid gold right here. This is our nice amber colored stock. That is the perfect color for what we wanted. That's amazing. We are, however, going to continue cooking this stock with other things to get more flavor though. Alright, so in this pot right here, we have our leeks, the tops of them, and then a bunch of assortments of microgreens that we're going to be using in the dish itself. That's what's going to be part of the stock. We also have some chives in there, some green onion, whatever you want to call it. And now we're going to add our seaweed stock or broth or tea, whatever you want to call this, into this. And we're going to turn this into a stock and just repeat the process that we just did with the seaweed.
stock is ready. We are going to move this, strain it again just like we did last time. And just like that, we have a very clear, colorful, nice and bright. That is the perfect color for what we want for this. All right, for the next step, this has to be chilled. It has to be completely cold before we can start adding the next step, which is going to be turning it into the gel. So we're going to go and cool this in the fridge for a bit, and then we're going to come back and show you the next step. This next step, we have our little scale. We're going to weigh out. Oh, there's more than one. All right, we're going to, I don't know if you can see that or how well you can, tear that out. For this experiment, we are using the Gel and Gum F, and for this we need 2.5 grams. So this right here is exactly 2.5 grams of what we need. All right, we are going to heat our mixture up now. But while it's heating up, it's completely cooled off now, which is perfect. It's nice and clear. We're going to add in our thickening agent. There is now no turning back. The powder will dissolve into this liquid, and we're going to give it a mix to evenly distribute. Now, in order for this powder to truly activate, it has to heat up and come to a boil. So now we're going to boil this. And then once it boils, we're going to use our syringe here to fit them into different molds and go layer by layer. So while we are waiting for that, we are going to pull out our apples. Give them a taste first. So with the apples, we're gonna put them on the bottoms of all of our molds, and we're just gonna test out a bunch of different molds, see what works best, because I really don't know. I've never done this before. And just kind of see what happens and experiment with it. This is gonna be our first try. We might have to do more, I'm not sure yet, but we're gonna see how it goes. All right, so you can tell it's working. It's kind of boiling, but you can see these little white bubbles all over the place. That is perfect. That means it's reacting correctly, and it's going to be turning into like a gel, which is what we want. So we're going to give her a mix. I can kind of feel the mixture itself starting to turn thicker, which is perfect. That's what we want. So we're going to let it boil for about a minute, and then we're going to cut the heat. And as soon as we cut the heat, we have to work extremely quick. Oh, these bubbles, that's perfect. We want that, but not too much. So we're gonna turn it down. All right, now we're gonna give her a try. Just like that. That'll turn into a gel. We're gonna start by putting the liquid in with the apples. And from here, we kind of just pray. We're going to try a whole bunch of different things with all of the different molds. We're going to try freezing some. We're going to try cooling some. We're just going to try a whole bunch of different things and kind of learn and see what happens. The little spherical ones only filled up so high, so I couldn't put any greens in those ones. But we're just going to see what happens. All right, so we're in the freezer. And as you can see, it's already working. Like that's already, I can already move that around, which is really cool. Like that's already a sphere. All right, so this is the very first one. You can kind of see all the pieces inside of it. It's really colorful. It's that nice amber color. This is the one that we didn't put any of the greens into, but we're just gonna try it, see how it tastes. That's really good. Oh wow. Okay, so I then decided to plate the two of them and kind of see what they would look like. This is the end result of both of them. Okay, and after doing a little bit of photo editing, this is what the final dish looks like. That is absolutely incredible. Let me know in the comments what you think. And would you look at that? That is another dish completed. That is our first one of the series. If you enjoyed this video, stick around for the next ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one.